That person was the general of the southern plains. One of Saul's 5 commanders. The military god, the guardian of Saul the Black Dragon. The venue of tens of thousands of people was dead silent. Time passed minute by minute. Soon, a Maserati drove near and gradually appeared in everyone's field of vision. The car slowly stopped in front of the special trainers. Is he here? Is the Black Dragon finally here? Everyone held their breath and stared at the Maserati in front of them. Clinton was one of the 100 people. He was instantly stunned after seeing the car. Isn't this car driven by Thea's husband, James? Why is it at the military region? The open field was densely packed with soldiers. The car door opened, and a tall man dressed in ordinary clothes got out under the gazes of countless people. Salute! A voice resounded. Thump! Everyone immediately stood straight and raised their right hands to their brows. Their movements were neat and uniform. Ads by Pub Future. Chase, who was in uniform with a star badge on his shoulder, rushed over. He stood in front of James, saluted, and greeted, Chase Nelson of the North Kensington Military Region. It's a pleasure to see you, General Black Dragon. The Special Forces trainees have assembled and are waiting for your lesson. James waved his hand. Then, he walked to the front of the hundreds of people under the crowd's gazes. Clinton was shocked and horrified to see James. How can this be? He was in disbelief. He could not believe that James was the general of the Southern Plains, one of the 5 commanders of Saul and guardian of Saul. James approached nonchalantly. His aura instantly changed drastically when he appeared in front of the 100 soldiers. At that moment, he was no longer the lazy James. At that moment, he exuded a domineering aura. This was an aura that could only be obtained through countless battles. His temperament overwhelmed the group of juniors that had never been on the battlefield before, making it hard for them to breathe. The chosen elites from across the country looked at James like a wild beast. Attention! A resonance and powerful voice sounded. The 100 soldiers saluting put down their hands. Since you've been selected to be a member of the future Special Forces and will be going through special training, then train hard. The country will be yours to protect in the future. James opened his mouth but did not say much. After saying a few sentences, he turned around and left. Under the countless gazes, he walked toward the Maserati and was about to open the door to get in. General, a voice resonated. James stopped and turned to meet the person. A tan-skinned man in his 40s ran toward him, saluted, and greeted, Flying Eagle, Chief Instructor of the Flying Eagle Special Forces. Pleased to meet you, sir. All right. Is there something else? James nodded lightly and asked. I've long heard of the general's accomplishments. You are the military god of Saul, and it's rumored that your strength and medical skills are unparalleled in this world. Today, I finally have the honor to meet you. Please forgive my intrusion, but I would like to have a match and learn a few pointers from you, Flying Eagle shouted. You are challenging me. James squinted his eyes. Flying Eagle, what are you doing? Step back. Chase came over and scolded. General Nolan, this mine the Flying Eagle Special Forces wish. It's also every soldier's dream. We've only heard of the Black Dragon's strength and never witnessed it with our own eyes. He peeked at James while speaking. Please fulfill the wishes of a subordinate, General. Allow us to see the General's strength. James nodded. He walked to the open field. Looking at Flying Eagle, he reached out with one hand and gestured for him to attack. Go ahead. Sorry if I offend you, General. The Flying Eagle's aura immediately changed, and he looked like a ferocious eagle. His fingers clenched into a fist and rapidly dashed forward. The momentum of him swinging his hand was so fast that it created a whistling sound. Bang! However, before he got close to James, he was already sent flying and miserably fell to the ground, causing dirt to rise in the air. James said nothing more, nor did he plan to stay any longer. Immediately, he turned around and drove away under the gazes of tens of thousands of people. James had already left, but the scene remained dead silent. Only Flying Eagle groaned in pain on the ground. Gasp! After a long time, the onlookers gasped. Who was Flying Eagle? He was the chief instructor of the Flying Eagle Special Forces. He had led the team on countless dangerous missions. Even so, he was defeated with just one move. Did you see what happened? How did the Black Dragon attack? I think I saw it. He punched Flying Eagle's chest like this. Many discussions of the match were heard. James was unbothered. He wanted to return a favor to Chase and simply needed to show himself. After he drove off, he sent a message to Chase to inform the soldiers in North Kensington Military Region that his identity was top secret and that everyone had to sign a non-disclosure agreement. Military laws would heavily punish anyone who revealed his identity. Chase received the message. Immediately, he stepped forward and looked at the hundreds of elites selected from various units. Then, he shouted, everyone must be pleased to have seen the Black Dragon. However, his identity is a top secret. Everything you saw and heard today must not be shared outside. Those who fail to follow through will be punished by military law. Do you hear me? Yes, sir, a neat and uniform reply sounded. Ads by Pub Future. James drove back to the Hills villa. His back and forth trip took less than 2 hours. On the other hand, Tia and the others had not returned. The Hills did not like seeing him and showed him unfriendly faces. Thus, he also did not stay around to flatter them. Instead, he sat on the big threshold in the courtyard and played Plants vs. Zombies. Soon, it was noon. Tia and the others who went out returned home. Clinton also came back around lunchtime. Hills villa living room. A bunch of youngsters immediately surrounded Clinton. Clinton, how was it? Did you see the Black Dragon? What does the Black Dragon look like? How old is the general? Was he handsome? Facing the inquiries of the other Hill youngsters, Clinton could not help looking at James sitting on the sofa nearby, who was happily playing with his phone. Clinton took a deep breath. Who would have thought that James was the Black Dragon? He finally realized that Chase did not come for Tia. He came for James. He also understood why Tia's status in Kensington was so high. It was because her husband was a figure standing on top of the pinnacle of power. It was because of the Black Dragon that he was transferred to the military region. Although he would not be arranged directly to work with Chase for the time being, he knew that his future was limitless. Quote. Clinton wanted to speak. Then, he remembered he had signed a non-disclosure agreement and could not reveal the Black Dragon's identity. I signed a non-disclosure agreement and am not allowed to reveal the Black Dragon's identity. What I can tell you for sure is that the Black Dragon is incredibly handsome. He is around the same age as me, and most importantly, he is married, so don't even think about fangirling over him. He's married. Who's this lucky woman married to the Black Dragon? No way, my childhood dream is gone. Many women of the Hills cried out. Tia was also interested in the topic of the Black Dragon. She glanced at Clinton and asked, what does the Black Dragon look like? Could you tell me in detail? Clinton glanced at Tia. Did James not even say anything to Tia? I really can't tell you anything. Tia seemed disappointed after hearing his reply. Meanwhile, James acted as if he had nothing to do with it. Afterward, they had lunch at the Hills villa. After lunch, Tia's family left. Hills villa, courtyard. Many Hill members gathered around. They watched and sent off James and the others. Zara pulled Clinton aside and whispered, Clinton, did you really see the Black Dragon? Zara, please stop asking about him. I know you admire the Black Dragon, but I've signed a non-disclosure agreement and can't tell you anything. I don't need you to tell me anything. I simply asked if you really saw him, Zara pouted and replied. Clinton took a deep breath. Of course I did. The Black Dragon was so overpowering. The strongest of North Kensington, Flying Eagle did not even last one attack and was defeated in an instant. Clinton's blood was still boiling as he recalled the scene. Hearing this, Zara confirmed that Clinton had seen James. Gasp. She could not help but gasp. She felt so suffocated, having to keep the secret alone during this time. She knew James' identity for a long time but could not tell anyone about it. Now that someone from the Hills knew James' identity, she could finally discuss James with Clinton. Clinton, the truth is, I had actually learned of James' identity a long time ago. He is not only the general of the Southern Plains, the Black Dragon, but also the behind-the-scenes boss of Kensington's transgenerational new city and transgenerational financial center. James was the one who arranged my job in the transgenerational group. What? Clinton's jaw dropped. Why, you already knew. Shush. Zara gestured for him to hush and whispered, be quiet. Do you want the whole world to find out? Clinton quickly closed his mouth. He glanced around and confirmed that no one was approaching them. Then, he whispered, Zara, why did James hide his identity and approach Tia? What is he trying to do? You probably don't know of his other identity yet. He's actually the person that Tia rushed into the Burning Candles villa to save 10 years ago. He must be trying to repay Tia for her life-saving grace. Zara wore an envious expression. Tia was the luckiest woman in this world. Ads by Pub Future. The man behind her was one on the top of the power and wealth pyramid. Even so, there isn't a need to hide his identity, right? Asked Clinton. Zara shook her head and replied, maybe he has his own reasons. The two quietly chatted about James. Meanwhile, James had already driven far away. At this moment, he was already on the highway. Tia sat in the passenger seat with an absent-minded expression. What's the matter, darling? Why do you look so gloomy? It's nothing. Concentrate on the road. Don't get distracted. Tia regained her senses and replied. Yes, ma'am. James focused on driving and refrained from asking any more questions. Soon, they returned to Kensington. However, Tia did not want to go home. Instead, she requested to be dropped off and asked James to return home without her. James did not say much and drove back alone. After Thea got off the car, she took a taxi toward the Majestic Corporation. The mysterious Mr. Caden had helped her countless times, and it was only reasonable for her to thank him face to face. Additionally, she wanted to tell him not to continue secretly helping her because she did not deserve it. Soon, she arrived at Majestic Corporation. Newton was the person that received Thea. Majestic Corporation, reception room. Ems. Thea, is there something I can help you with? Asked Newton. Thea sat nervously on the sofa and glanced at Newton. She opened her mouth slightly and uttered, May I know if the chairman is here? I would like to see him. Ems. Thea, the chairman is not in right now. May I ask what you need? I will relay the message to the chairman. It's nothing. Thea stood up and left. Newton immediately notified James after she left. At that moment, James had already arrived home. David and the others had already gone to the large villa in the Goodview Villa district, and James was the only one home. He was sitting on the sofa when he saw the message from Newton. Thea didn't come home to look for the mysterious Mr. Caden. This mysterious Mr. Caden's position in Thea's heart has grown. He murmured. It was reasonable, since Thea had constantly mistaken his help as a gesture from the mysterious Mr. Caden. It was understandable that he would grow on her. This is troublesome. James gently touched his temples. Thea was gorgeous. Any man would be interested in her after witnessing her beauty. This was the reason for so many troubles. He pondered about it and called Newton. Newton, help me prepare a brand new phone and inform Thea to meet me tonight. James hung up the phone after giving the order. Afterward, he called Henry and instructed, Henry, help me prepare some materials. James listed the materials he needed. James, why do you need to make a human skin mask? What are you trying to do? Henry immediately grasped what James wanted to do when he heard the material list. James was slightly confused by Thea. He was unsure whether Thea liked the other version of him. What would he do if that were the case? In order to verify his suspicion, he wanted to test Thea. He planned to change his identity to the mysterious Mr. Caden and contact her to find out what she really thought in her heart. He did not answer Henry's questions. He hung up the call and waited patiently at home. Thea left Majestic Corporation with disappointment. Before she arrived home, she received a call from Newton. Ems. Thea, the chairman said that he can meet you tonight. He will contact you about the details. Thea was excited after receiving the call. She began to look forward to it. She anticipated for the night to arrive. She hummed a melody when entering the house. What happened, darling? Why are you so happy? James, on the sofa, glanced at Thea, who returned home and could not help asking. Ads by Pub Future. Thea was ecstatic and could not hide her excitement. However, she could not share this joy with James. Therefore she shook her head and said, It's nothing. I'm going to shower and head to the company. Thea went back to her room after speaking. James did not say much. Soon, Thea came out. She had already changed her outfit. Instead of a professional business outfit, she wore a sexy and glamorous dress. She had carefully dressed up for the occasion. Darling, you're wearing such a beautiful dress. Are you going out on a date? James asked teasingly with a smile. Oh, of course not. What date can I go on? I'm going to the company to meet a big client, Thea explained with a blushed face. James smiled. I am going out and won't be home for dinner tonight. Okay, James replied. Thea's various behaviors had convinced him that she had fallen in love with the mysterious Mr. Caden. He rubbed his forehead. How did things get so out of hand? Thought James. After Thea left, James also did not stay home for long and left for Henry's common clinic. Shortly after he left, David and Alyssa returned home. The two entered the door and sat on the sofa. Darling, Alyssa took David's hand and said coquettishly, the Callahans have developed well recently and are moving into a big villa. However, my family is still crowded in a small house of 100 square meters. Plus, my brother is about to get married soon. The betrothal gifts will cost $100,000. You have to help me. Me? How can I help you? The money isn't mine, David said helplessly. Doesn't mom have tens of millions in savings? You're her son. She should give you some if you ask for it. Besides, Thea, the head of Xenoses gave Thea $2 billion when we were in North Kensington. $2 billion. Alyssa whispered. What are you trying to imply? David glanced at her. Ask Thea for money, and if she doesn't give it to us, we'll steal it. Alyssa whispered. We can't do that. David immediately refused. Are you stupid? Alyssa said with a stern expression. She's your sister. We can steal her card and transfer the money to our account. So what if she discovers we stole it? I trust that Thea won't call the police to arrest you. Alyssa's words tempted David. It was true. Richard gave Thea $2 billion, so it should not be a problem for him to take several hundred million. They could get a lot with a few $100 million. Babe, we'll have to plan this carefully. We don't know Thea's bank card password, so we'll have to find a way to get it first. Alright, the two began to discuss their plans. At this moment, James had arrived at Common Clinic. James. As soon as he entered the clinic, a woman in her 20s wearing a thin shirt paired with a mini denim skirt and a ponytail greeted James with a smile. It was Whitney. Whitney had been staying at Henry's clinic for the past few days. She had witnessed James ordering people to raise the Purity Pharmaceuticals factory, and after doing some research, she had a rough guess about James' identity. Although she did not know the details, she figured out that James was a prominent figure from the Southern Plains. Hello. James nodded to Whitney and entered the room. James, Henry quickly rushed over and greeted. Where's the things I asked for? Over there. They just arrived. Henry pointed to a box on the floor and replied. James walked over, picked up the box, and entered the back room to start working. Outside, Whitney pulled Henry and was almost fully leaning her body onto him. She asked with a smile, Henry, what's James doing? Henry shrugged his shoulders and replied, how would I know? Ads by Pub Future. Inside the back room, James began to make a realistic human mask. He was proficient in medical skills, and making a human mask was an easy job for him. The mask he made resembled him 10 years ago. 10 years ago, he was burnt all over and disfigured. After being cured, his appearance also changed. Now, he wanted to make a human mask that looked like him 10 years ago. After he finished, he went to the Majestic Corporation. Majestic Corporation, chairman's office. James put on an expensive suit and branded watch. His temperament had undergone a drastic transformation. He wore the human mask he made and changed his appearance. He now looked like a handsome young man. He had fair skin, an attractive appearance, and looked like a wealthy man. His current appearance was completely different than his usual self. He stood in front of the mirror. Glancing at his face in the mirror, he had flashbacks of many things from the past. The Cadence, his grandfather, his father, and his mother who had abandoned him very young. He also thought of his girlfriend from high school, Quincy. Chairman. A charming voice sounded from behind him. This voice pulled James back from his thoughts and turned around to face her. Serena stood behind him. She was dressed in professional attire, a white blouse and black pencil skirt. Her long black hair fell on her shoulders, and she had a curvy S-line body. Yeah, he nodded lightly and acknowledged Serena. Serena quickly took out a new phone and handed it over with both hands. This is the new phone I've prepared. James took it from her. Chairman, can I help you with anything else? James waved his hand and said, you can leave now. All right. Serena nodded and left. James sat on the leather office chair and glanced at the time. It was only 4 in the afternoon, and there was still time before night. He took out his phone and called Newton. Mr. Quinn, prepare a car for me. What class would you need, James? The more luxurious, the better. His current identity was not the son-in-law of the Callahans but the chairman of Majestic Corporation. He was now a business owner with assets worth tens of billions. It was unreasonable for him to keep a low profile now. Moreover, he was going to see his wife, Thea. It would be unacceptable for him to show up very shabbily. Alright, I'll make the arrangements now. Newton hurried to prepare the car. Newton had taken over the Great Four seeded businesses and established Majestic Corporation. Majestic Corporation had tens of billions in assets right now. It was easy for him to get a luxurious car. He prepared a Rolls-Royce Silver Ghost in no time. The car was worth $1,800,000,000 and could not be bought with just money. It required strong connections. Majestic Corporation had broad network connections now. This was because the businesses under Majestic Corporation were seeded by the Great Four. The Great Four had deep connections in Kensington. Apart from the bankrupt Xaviers, the other 3 families were still very influential. Soon, it was 5 in the evening. James took out the new phone and sent Thea a message. What time are we meeting? Thea was at the Pacific Group. She was absent-minded the whole afternoon and constantly checked her phone. After waiting for a long time, she finally received a notification. It was an unfamiliar number, and she was unsure if it was from the mysterious Mr. Caden. May I ask who you are? Thea replied politely. Ads by Pub Future. James Caden. James replied immediately. Thea's heart beat rapidly after seeing the message. She desperately calmed herself down and replied again. Is this James from Majestic Corporation? Yes. W. Where are you right now? I'll come over immediately. Where are you? I'll pick you up. I'm at Pacific Group. James chose not to call Thea. Instead, he chatted with her through messages. After exchanging messages for a while, James headed down the building and drove the Rolls-Royce Silver Ghost prepared by Newton to the Pacific Group. Pacific Group headquarters. Thea was already waiting downstairs. She was gorgeous in her white slip dress that outlined her sexy figure. Thea was now a famous figure in Kensington, and many media reporters were gathered around the headquarters, hoping to capture some scandals about her. Seeing Thea waiting outside the company building and constantly checking left and right, the media reporters immediately knew she was waiting for someone. They secretly snapped pictures of her. Soon, a Rolls-Royce Silver Ghost appeared outside Pacific Group. A handsome young man with fair skin dressed in a white suit, exuding an extraordinary aura, stepped out of the car. Thea had been waiting for a while. Upon seeing the Rolls-Royce Silver Ghost and a handsome young man in a white suit, she immediately knew that this was the mysterious Mr. Caden from the Cadence. This was the person she saved 10 years ago. This was the person who saved her from Trent. This was the person who had constantly been helping her in secret. Although she had never seen his face before, she was sure this was him. He is so handsome. Seeing James approaching, Thea's heart beat uncontrollably faster, and she almost suffocated when she saw the handsome features on the man's face. Is this him? James approached Thea with a smile. Thea. His voice was clear and magnetic. His voice seemed to have magical powers that deeply attracted Thea. At this moment, a sexy woman in a red dress with red lipstick and sunglasses approached. It was Quincy. Quincy had come to see Thea a few times, but she was always not in the office. Today, she decided to look for Thea after getting off work to discuss and introduce Xavier to her. When she arrived at Pacific Group's building, she immediately spotted someone. Tears welled up in her eyes upon seeing the man's face. This was the face that had constantly been popping up in her mind for the past 10 years. James. Her lips parted slightly. She watched James walk toward Thea in the distance. After a brief surprise, Thea recollected herself and glanced at James. Her face immediately flushed red. Finally, she met him. She had a lot to say but did not know where to start. Let's go. James gestured for her to get in the car. Oh, all right. Thea recollected herself. The two walked side by side. Media reporters secretly photographed the scene. Quincy was shocked in the distance. She quickly approached them and stood before the two, then took off her sunglasses. Thea, she said with her jaw dropped open. Next, she turned toward James. There was a slight resentment on her face, and her eyes began to tear up. James frowned. Why is Quincy here? James. Her vision began to blur with tears, and she raised her head to glance aggrievedly at James. Why are you here? James glanced at her and asked. Thea, who stood beside James, felt awkward about the situation. She knew the mysterious Mr. Caden was her best friend, Quincy's boyfriend 10 years ago. Quincy. She glanced at Quincy with her face flushed red from shame. Quincy glanced at him with tears in her eyes and said, James, do you know I've waited 10 years for you? Ads by Pub Future. I knew you weren't dead. I just could sense you near me. I've waited 10 years for you. I've rejected countless suitors because of you. Yet, look at yourself. You never showed yourself, and now you're with her when you do. Don't you know she has a husband? Hearing her words, Thea felt even more ashamed. I know that Thea has a husband. That's why I am meeting her to make it clear. You and I only dated for a few months. Plus, that was 10 years ago, and I've long forgotten about you, James replied with a frown. Let's go. James glanced at Thea and smiled apologetically. Thea nodded lightly and lowered her head, not daring to look at Quincy. She was unsure of what to say to Quincy. James walked directly toward the Rolls-Royce Silver Ghost. Thea got in the passenger seat. Quincy stood in place and watched the two leave as tears fell uncontrollably from her face. A luxurious restaurant in Kensington, private room. James and Thea sat opposite each other. Thea lowered her head but could not help peeping at James. Seeing his handsome face, she blushed, and her heartbeat kept rising. Thank you for your help during this period. This is nothing. I would have been dead if you didn't rush into the flames to rescue me. You've suffered these past 10 years, and nothing I do can make up for what you've done for me, James said with a smile. James stopped talking after saying this. He was waiting for Thea's response. However, Thea remained silent. The atmosphere instantly fell into a dead silence. Quote. 10 seconds later, Thea raised her head and glanced at the handsome black dragon in front of her, hesitating to speak. What do you want to say? Who am I to deserve your help? I have a husband. Thea took a deep breath and said. I know. I am simply grateful toward you. I didn't show myself because you have a husband. Haha, what a coincidence for your husband to also be named James and my former subordinate. Thea's heart skipped a beat. She had a rough guess of the mysterious Mr. Caden's identity but never imagined it to be true. He really was the Black Dragon. Forget about him. If only he had 1/10 of your capabilities, Tia shook her head and said. James smiled lightly. It seems I really have no position in Tia's heart, thought James. Actually, your husband is a great man. He was extraordinary combat and medical skills. He would have had a bright future if not for some things that had happened. He is a very committed person in relationships. I hope you treat him well and don't let him down. James felt a little awkward saying all this. It was weird to compliment oneself. Seeing that Tia did not speak, James thought for a moment and immediately said, You can always choose to divorce him if you don't love him. I won't mind you being married before. I'll immediately marry you if you divorce him and make you the happiest woman in the world. All the women will be envious of you. Tia's body trembled. Divorce. At this moment, she had the urge to immediately divorce the other James and throw herself at the James before her. Her body language betrayed her, and she could not hide her feelings from James. He sighed internally. It seems Tia really doesn't like the lax James that isn't successful in anything. She prefers this mysterious Mr. Caden that can help her through everything, thought James. Tia stopped talking. She wanted to say she had a husband and would not divorce him. However, she was unable to say anything. James and I didn't marry for love. My grandfather chose him to marry into the Callahans. With this said, James immediately understood her heart. Afterward, Tia said a lot, all of which was an expression of her gratitude. However, James was absent-minded. The two finished their meal. After the meal, James said, Shall I take you back? And no, it's fine, Tia politely refused. I'll consider getting a divorce, said Tia. She blushed and ran away after speaking. James was left troubled. He watched as Tia left and touched his nose. Divorce. He smiled lightly and went silent. He drove back to Majestic Corporation, changed his clothes, and took off the human mask. Ads by Pub Future. Deep in thought, he sat on a chair in the chairman's office while smoking a cigarette. At this moment, his phone rang. He glanced at it and saw Henry calling. What's the matter? Did something happen? He asked after answering the phone. James, Jake has found out the whereabouts of the ancient box in Kensington after leaving North Kensington. I'll come right away. James hung up the phone. He immediately left Majestic Corporation and rushed to Henry's common clinic. The ancient box that had emerged from the ancient tomb of the Prince of Orchid Mountain was critical. It was related to the Cadence family treasure, the moonlit flowers on Cliffside's edge. On top of that, it involved the mysterious and unpredictable 4 great families of Sol. He had only recently discovered the 4 great families of Sol. In the past, he never knew that the Cadence had such a long family history that traced back thousands of years. Soon, he arrived at the common clinic. James immediately asked as soon as he entered the clinic, What's the situation? Jake informed me that there was news of the ancient box being spotted in an antique shop in Kensington. The antique shop owner is someone with a solid background and of great influence in the capital. Thus, he said he wanted to tell you the details face to face, said Henry. A solid background and great influence. James frowned. Prepare the car and head out to meet Jake immediately, said James. All right. Henry nodded and immediately went to get the car. I'll come with you, Henry. Whitney followed after him and said. I'm going out for important business. Why are you coming? Henry scolded. Tears welled up in Whitney's eyes, and she glanced at James with an aggrieved expression. He's being mean to me, James. James glanced at Whitney. This woman seemed decent and has been living in Henry's clinic for the past few days. It appears that the two of them were. James smiled and said, Let her come along, Henry. It's no big deal. Since James already approved it, Henry also allowed it. You can tag along but don't spout any nonsense, Henry reminded her. All right, Whitney smiled. The three departed together. Henry drove to the repair shop where Jake was. Repair shop, underground basement. Inside a room, James sat on the sofa. Henry and Whitney stood aside. The Underground Intelligence Organization's boss, Jake, also called the Genius Doctor, Jay Fallon, stood opposite them. James had a cigarette in his mouth as he asked, What's the matter? Why do we have to meet to talk about it? Commander, I've already found the whereabouts of the box you've asked me to find. It's in Sovereign Antique Shop in Kensington. The owner is called Yuri Gibson. I've looked into him and found that he is from the capital. A prominent person from the capital has been in frequent contact with him. Speaking of this, Jake paused. Who? James glanced at him. Jake hesitated for a while and said, The Emperor of the capital. What? James' expression darkened. The Emperor of the capital, one of the 5 commanders. The most powerful amongst the 5 commanders, who steadily controlled the capital. Anything else? James glanced at Jake. I've investigated a lot of things about the ancient box's source and inquired about the grave robbers. The grave robber gang had received money from a mysterious employer. They received the map of the Prince of Orchid Mountain, which helped them successfully enter the tomb and find the ancient box. However, an unexpected accident occurred, and someone stole it while the key fell into Scarlett's hands. Get to the important part. Who was the person that stole the ancient box, and who is the mysterious employer? James glanced at him and said, according to the intel collected, the person who stole the ancient box is Floyd Zink. He is a very well-known name in the underworld. He was the one that brought the box to Kensington. Floyd happens to be the Emperor's confidant. That means the mysterious employer is the Emperor. James had an unusually dim expression. Jake shook his head slightly and said, I'm not sure, but the Emperor is definitely related to this incident. My intelligence network doesn't reach the capital, and I don't dare to expand there either. Thus, I've no way to inquire about things in the capital. James fell into silence. After a moment, he said, all right. Then, he got up and left. Henry and Whitney followed after him. Henry drove them back to Common Clinic. Inside the clinic, ads by Pub Future. James sat on a chair and smoked a cigarette while deep in thought. The ancient tomb of the Prince of Orchid Mountain, ancient box, keys, moonlit flowers on cliffside's edge. Judging by the timeline, the grave robber gang acted after James had submitted his resignation application. It had already been 3 months. After he came to Kensington, he felt a strong murderous intention while job hunting with Thea and chased after the person. However, he encountered Scarlett instead. This seems like a deliberate plan by someone to get Scarlett by my side and allow the key to fall into my hands. What is this employer's motive? Could the Caden's demise 10 years ago have something to do with the Emperor? Things will be very complicated if it involves the Emperor. Why hasn't my opponent acted? Is it because my resignation application hasn't been approved yet, and I am still the Black Dragon, so he is afraid? Thought James. James clenched his fists tightly. He thought about a lot instantly. Suddenly, he said, Henry. What's wrong, James? Inform the Blight King to prepare a private plane for me. I'm going to the capital, James instructed. Now. Yes. Okay. I'll make arrangements right away. Henry did not delay and immediately called the Blight King, asking him to arrange a private plan from the military region. After the phone call, he drove James to the military region. Kensington, military region. A helicopter was parked in an open field. What are you going to the capital for around this time, James? The Blight King glanced at James and asked curiously. I need to verify some things and meet the higher-ups to ask why my resignation hasn't been approved yet, said James. Do you really want to resign? Asked Henry. James did not reply. He simply turned around and got into the helicopter. The helicopter gradually took off and left the place, instantly disappearing from Henry and the Blight King's sight. The Blight King turned to Henry and asked, what is the Black Dragon doing? Henry shrugged his shoulders and replied, I don't know, but I have a feeling chaos is about to break loose. What do you mean? The Blight King looked at him doubtfully. Henry sighed and said, you already know about James' background. His family has a treasure map, and recently a treasure box was unearthed from an ancient tomb in the southern plains. This treasure box happens to be related to James' family treasure map. However, the Emperor seems to be involved with the treasure box. James probably suspects that the Caden's demise 10 years ago had something to do with the Emperor, so he is going to the capital to confront him. What? The Blight King exclaimed. Confront him? Why didn't you tell me earlier? Don't you know who the Emperor is? He stands on top of the capital and is a master of conspiracy and tricks. The Black Dragon won't be able to get anything from him just by confronting him. This will be a mess if he fights him once there's a disagreement. Henry was also helpless. He knew exactly what kind of temper James had and knew the consequences might be dire, but he could not stop it from happening. I think James should know the boundaries. After all, this is the Emperor we are talking about. He is also one of the 5 commanders. James wouldn't act recklessly until there is conclusive evidence. Hopefully, the Blight King took a deep breath. He hoped things would not go the way he imagined. Chaos would definitely break loose if James were to go against the Emperor. The capital of Saul, the courtyard of a particular house. Security guards dressed in black suits stood outside the courtyard. A man wearing a black jacket approached. Before he got close to the courtyard, the security guards immediately blocked his path. The Heaven Mansions is off limits to outsiders. Please leave quickly, or you will be killed without mercy. The man dressed in a black jacket was James from Kensington. After James had learned some clues, he immediately took a private plane to the capital to personally meet the Emperor and ask about some details. If the Emperor really had something to do with his family's incident, he had to die. Black Dragon from the southern plains. I need to see the Emperor. Hurry and report it. James wore a dark expression. Hearing that it was the Black Dragon, the security guards stepped back in fright. Quick, go and report it. All right. Several security guards quickly ran into the courtyard. James patiently waited outside the gate. Ads by Pub Future. A few minutes later, a group of people quickly walked out of the courtyard. The person in the lead was a 40-year-old man. He was dressed in simple clothes but had an unmatched temperament. He was one of the 5 commanders and the most powerful among all commanders, the Emperor. He was known as the leader of the 5 commanders. Haha, James, what brings you here? The Emperor approached with his hands open and wanted to hug James. James lifted his foot and threw a kick at him. The Emperor was kicked a few meters away. However, he was the Emperor, one of the 5 commanders. Thus, he had extraordinary combat skills. His body swirled in the air and landed stably on the ground. Whoosh! The surrounding security guards quickly pulled out their guns. What are you doing? Don't you know who this is? This is the Black Dragon. Do you guys have a death wish? The Emperor immediately scolded. The security guards immediately put away their guns. The Emperor walked toward James and said with a smile, "Are you testing my skill again, James? I don't have time to test your skills. I'm here to inquire some things from you," James said with a sullen expression. He quickly took a few steps forward. In an instant, he appeared right before the Emperor. James grabbed him by the collar and lifted him from the ground. "Are you involved in the robbery of the ancient tomb of the Prince of Orchid Mountain?" "James, what do you mean? Can you put me down to talk? There are so many people watching. After all, I'm one of the 5 commanders, and if word spreads." Before he finished speaking, James threw him to the ground. Then, James strode toward him. Before the Emperor could get up from the ground, James stepped on him and roared, "I don't have time for nonsense. I'll ask one more time. Does it have anything to do with you?" The security guards took out their guns again. However, they did not dare to shoot. Despite being stepped on, the Emperor was not infuriated and replied with a smile, "What is the ancient tomb of Prince of Orchid Mountain? I've no clue what you are talking about, James. What's wrong with you? The owner of Sovereign Antique Shop in Kensington, Yuri, is your subordinate. Floyd is also one of your confidants. Do you still claim it has nothing to do with you? Fine, I admit, I was involved in it." A strong murderous intent exuded from James. The Emperor was shocked after feeling the aura coming from him. This was indeed the Black Dragon that experienced hundreds of battles. The aura he had was terrifying. "What do you mean by this, James?" James lifted his foot, lifted him from the ground, and dragged him into the mansion. A room inside the mansion. James smoked a cigarette grimly. The Emperor sat opposite him. He rubbed his chest while glancing at James and asked, "Why are you asking about the ancient tomb of the Prince of Orchid Mountain? Does the deaths of the Cadens in Kensington 10 years ago have anything to do with you? Is my family's moonlit flowers on Cliffside's Edge map in your hands?" James looked at him coldly. The Emperor was stunned for a moment, then he laughed. "James, are you kidding? How could it have anything to do with me? However, I do know about the moonlit flowers on Cliffside's Edge because I'm also part of the 4 great families. Not only do the Cadens have a map, but the other 3 families also possess a map.